How would you like to save a bunch of these each and every week? Well, stay tuned for today's show. You're going to learn about how to save money. My name's Dan Wooten. I'm the host of Active Living at the Active Life, our monthly show featuring information and resources for adults 55 and older. We've got a great show today. Don't want to miss any part of it, so stay tuned. Here today with Sherry Brown. She's the director of Circles of Troup County. Sherry, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Tell me a little bit about Circles. What goes on in Circles of Troup County?
Okay. Circles has been around for about a year. It was begun by the Strategic Planning Center, and it is a result of the strategic plan that was done several years ago by Georgia Tech. And one of the major issues in our community was poverty. We have about 21% of the population living at or below the poverty level. We also have 1 in 3 children right now that live in at the poverty level. And so to address that, the Center for Strategic Planning went looking for a comprehensive program that wouldn't address one issue, but would address the entire broad spectrum of poverty. And they found Circles, which is a national program, and brought it here. I was hired to get it up and running and get it started, and it's going really well.
Excellent.
It's a 2-year process, so it's not, our goal is to help people move from poverty to self-sufficiency, and I wish I could do it in 10 weeks, but it does take time. And there's 2 major components with the families that we work with. We put them through a 12-week class. We meet weekly on Thursday nights. We go through a 12-week class, and then when that's completed, they're matched with volunteers from the community who say, I'm going to help you reach your goals to become self-sufficient. We don't have money, we don't have jobs, we don't have houses, so I can't give them things. But what we do give them is a support system. And what we found is people very rarely, if ever, can move out of poverty alone. It's hard. It's a complex issue. It's not just get a job. It's not just get an education. It takes more. And if you're a single mom with children, as many of our folks are, it's even more complicated. So our volunteers, we have 2 or 3 volunteers per person, per family that's moving out of poverty, and they meet with them at least once, usually twice a month, and they're there on the other end of the phone when things are overwhelming or when they're trying to figure out what to do. One example, this week I worked with someone whose son is at Callaway High and he wants to go to Boys and Girls Club and there's no transportation. My neighbor across the street is a teacher at Callaway High. I just used my knowledge and my networks, put them together, and now he has a ride to Boys and Girls Club 2 or 3 days a week. Now, Mom would never have had that resource because she really doesn't, she's not from here, she doesn't know anybody. So I really didn't do a whole lot. It took me 30 minutes, and yet I changed the way that child's going to be cared for and after school. So it's not rocket science,
Okay.
but it is really significant.
Now, how does someone become a part of this program? Or is there a certain criteria you're looking for, and then how would they contact you to become a part or to apply to become a part of Circles?
My office is at Parks and Rec on the Parkway, and where the swimming pool is, and we have applications. This isn't, you have to have an application, you have to be accepted. We do put you through an interview process, and what we're looking for is someone who is ready to make those changes. The changes we do are very hard. I mean, you're changing the way you think, changing the way you do things. A lot of people are very ready and they just need a little bit of support. We had 7 people graduate from our first class in February. They've had their, we call them allies, the volunteers. All of them now have a job.
Excellent.
And all of them are making movements. Now some are making, are moving faster than others, and that's fine because we're all at different places when we start. But everybody's doing really, really well, and it works.
Exciting.
It is.
Must
It
be
is.
fulfilling to
It
see
is.
that come
It is.
about.
And it's fun.
First graduating class. And so how many participants do you have at one time?
My participants that come in, we are limited by the number of volunteers I can get who will commit at the end of that 12 weeks. I had 7 that completed the first. We have 4 that are graduating this month in August in the second class. We will begin a third class in September. Again, the applications are available and need to be picked up and returned by the middle of September if you want to be considered for that September class. I would like to have 10, but that means in December, I need 20 to 30, at least 20, preferably about 30 volunteers from the community willing to help them reach their goals.
Great. Now, you have a special talent. The reason I've called you here today is our theme for our show today is ways that older adults can save money. Mm-hmm. And you're a mom of 3, and have learned over the years techniques to save money on bottom line. Now, with many of our older adults, they're on a fixed income. So they're not going to get more money coming in, but how can they add to their bottom line by saving money? Share with our group today a little bit about ways to save money.
I'm cheap, you can say it, I know. My husband has always worked for a nonprofit. Most of my life I've worked for nonprofits, so we haven't had a lot of money. And so when you don't have a lot of money coming in, you have to reduce your expenses. And so I've learned a lot of ways to do that. But one of the ways that has really been significant is using coupons at grocery stores and drug stores and being careful on how I buy things. And you do too, I know that.
I do. Now, how do people obtain these coupons, and how do they match them up with the
There's a lot of
sale
ways, and and I'm working with my folks in circles as well, because as they move off of food stamps, they have to budget their money a lot tighter than they used to. And so sometimes you have internet access and sometimes you don't. If you do, the easiest and fastest way to do it is to use one of the internet sites that do all the work for you.
Okay.
And basically my philosophy is I buy items at the store that are on sale and I have a coupon for it. When I do that, I can save lots of money.
Wow.
Now, I'm just at the empty nest syndrome, and my last one's gone now. And so, there's just 2 of us, and it's not quite the same. I'm having to shift. So when, if you're living alone or with just 2 people, it may not be as significant a savings. But I save at least 50% on every bill, especially when the kids were at home and I was buying a lot.
Okay. Now, at the Active Life, we have a computer lab with 14 computers that are open for any older adult. And so tell us a little bit about those sites that they could go to and about printing coupons.
There are a lot of them. Some of them will charge you a fee, like a monthly fee. I am too cheap to use the one that has the monthly fee, but some people really like those. There's one called southernsavers.com. And it's southernsavers with an S.com. And you can go to that site, and it lists all the grocery stores, and it will give you a list of the weekly sales, and they have a little checkbox, and you can go down and check the ones that you're interested in, and it will actually generate you your own list that you can print out and take to the grocery store. It will also match up all the coupons that are available for that item. So you can see that, if you've got something that's $3.99 and it's, I prefer, I don't know if I should say this, but I prefer shopping at Publix. It does tend to be more expensive if you just buy, but if they have the best sales.
Okay.
And so they do a very large buy one, get one free. And by the way, you only have to buy one. You don't have to buy 2 to get the deal in LaGrange. Now, that may not be true everywhere, but in LaGrange, if you buy one, it's half price. So say you have an item that's $3.99 and it's buy one, get one free, so it becomes $2. And then they will tell you where the coupons are. Some of those coupons now you can put on an e-coupon, and Publix has just opened that up in the last month, and you can just go and you just click them on a site, and then you plug in your phone number when you're at the register, and all that money just comes off. So you don't even have to have a coupon. They also will tell you, some of the ones they'll say, you can print this coupon right now, and you press the printing thing, the printing button, and it will take you to a page, and you will print it out.
Okay.
And some of them will match up, and they'll say, this date, in the newspaper, there's a flyer, and you can cut it out of there.
Okay, now our local paper, LaGrange Daily News, does provide coupons, some coupons in their weekend edition, is that correct?
It has, and I'm sorry to say, I don't know right now what they have.
Okay.
They've kind of switched. I do know the Atlanta paper has the majority, and even on that site, it will tell you what coupon flyers will be in
Okay.
each weekend. And there are weekends every now and then where there isn't one, so you don't want to spend $3 on a paper
Okay.
if there's no coupons.
Okay. Well, so saving with coupons, either getting them from a newspaper or online, is a way to save money at groceries, looking for sales. Now, when you go into a grocery store, I remember you telling me one time that you are very focused and try to avoid getting distracted by things that you don't need. How do you do that?
Well, and some people go with a list, and my list is generated by what's on sale. And I also do a thing I call pantry shopping. For instance, toothpaste. If toothpaste is on sale and I have 4 coupons and I can get them for 25 cents a tube, I buy 4 tubes of toothpaste. I don't need 4 tubes of toothpaste, but when I do need it, I don't have to go out and spend $3 on it. I've got it in my cabinet. Although with kids in college, they come home and steal everything. But so it's good to have some extras, and my toilet paper, they take that too. But so that, that mentality helps me. And sometimes I cook, that's how I, prepare a meal. The other day I'm going, okay, what are we going to eat? Well, we have some beans, and, we have some cornmeal, so we're having beans and cornbread. And so that's what we had for dinner. So that's kind of how I shape all that.
Okay, all right. Senior discounts.
Yes.
We have just published a brand new brochure here at the Active Life called Budget Fitness on local stores and even national stores that you can get a discount on. And I was surprised going through there, they even have some stores that consider seniors 50 and above, and some 55 and some 60 and some 62. But we have this all written out. Do you take advantage of any discounts, or would you recommend that our listeners
yes,
do?
you always ask. My husband's a little bit older than I am, and so he's been in that range for a while. And I used to make him go to the grocery store so I'd get my 5% discount on top of my coupons every week. But yes, we've learned to ask. We had to stay in a hotel last week, and my first question was, do you have a senior discount? And it was 30%. It was significant. It was at a Marriott in Atlanta. So that was a significant savings.
It is.
Yeah, I always ask.
So I guess the key, or one thing that's on our brochure, you must ask. I didn't realize that they're not just going to automatically guess. There's many discounts that are sitting out there that you won't take advantage of if you don't ask.
I think it's important to ask. I think sometimes too, cashiers are hesitant because some people get insulted if you say, "Oh, I'll give you the senior discount." Maybe they're not quite old enough and they get their feelings hurt. So I think they're a little hesitant sometimes. The movie theater is you get the matinee rate if you're a senior even at 7 o'clock at night.
Wow.
So now I think it might be 60. I'm not sure. Some people. If you're with a senior, you can get the deal for everybody. Sometimes it's just for the seniors.
Okay, just for the
yeah.
seniors. So you just have to ask.
You just ask.
And they will do that. Any other suggestions? Is, again, we're thinking of seniors that are fixed income, no more money rolling in that's gonna flow through a job because they're retired. Are there any other areas, as you've looked at your life, that you think that they would benefit to learn how to save money or to better budget the limited amount of income that they have? And again, this relates to circles, I'm sure.
Right.
You spend time talking
I'm always talking. Well, I'm always cheap.
Okay.
That was before circles too. One of the things in my life I've learned about is medical expenses. And my youngest daughter has had some very expensive medical issues. And I have learned to ask for discounts on my part. Now, we have had insurance, but my part comes along and it's been very significant. And when I ask, I have actually had hospitals cut my bill in half. And I'm talking thousands in half.
Wow.
And now the deal is they want you to pay it immediately in cash. If you're able to do that, And I scrounged and was able to do that because at one point I saved $2,000 by doing that. And that was out of my pocket.
Wow.
So that was, sometimes some hospitals do it, some hospitals don't, some doctors' offices will do it. Most doctors' offices don't. But the hospital bills, very often, if you call immediately when you get your bill, your final bill on how much it's going to cost with you, you may be able, and if not, you can set up, they're usually good about setting up a reasonable plan. Never use a credit card to pay a medical bill if you can pay a monthly
That's
fee.
a good suggestion. Wow, that is. But again, it takes some boldness, right, to ask.
Yes.
Again, they're not.
Yes.
A lot of times they're not going to volunteer this.
No.
But and at the Active Life, we have some advocates here, some volunteers that are willing to go and sit down and talk to people at the hospital and try to work those things out. So you could bring a friend if you needed to, right?
Absolutely.
For
Absolutely.
moral support.
And by the way, these days with HIPAA laws, you may have to sign a waiver that says, you can, my friend here can talk to me. In fact, my youngest daughter just turned 19, and she had some surgery yesterday, and when I called the hospital, they couldn't even talk to me about that. So she had to sign a paper that says, yes, you can talk to my mom. But that's protection, but
Yes.
you may have to do that.
Okay.
But yes, you can absolutely take someone.
Well, thank you, Sherry, for
you.
taking time, and these are great suggestions, and we hope to save people money.
Absolutely.
Why spend more when you can
Absolutely.
save? All right, thank you.
Great, thank you.
We're back for a couple of more areas that we wanted to talk about saving money. First of all, discount grocers. Do you have some suggestions for older adults shopping at those places that I guess they're surplus items that they receive from other grocery
Yes,
stores?
it's my understanding, and I'm not real clear, but it's my understanding that, if Target has a whole bunch of something on sale one week, but they don't sell it all, then they can get it at a discounted rate, and then you benefit from that. We do have a couple of them here in town, and I do shop at one of those discount groceries. It's kind of one of those things that you can't really plan on having dinner from it. You just have to walk through it once or twice a week when you're in that area and see what they've got. I'm careful. I look at expiration dates, and I'm careful with that, but you got to remember that an expiration date doesn't mean that if it expires today, that doesn't mean it's rotten today.
Okay.
You've got some time, and it kind of depends on what it is. If it's yogurt, you got a while. If it's a tomato, you may not have as much.
Okay.
But just kind of feel it through, but you can save an enormous amount of money there. They also have a large freezer section, and I do buy there. Now, I've heard some issues about things like flours and grains, that there might be bugs, and I will say this, wherever you buy your flour, there's potential for bugs in everything, and after a while, you're going to get those little mothy things. I do tend to take them out and put them in, a Tupperware or a plastic container, and that cuts down on the bugs, or at least if you get a bug, they're stuck in there.
That's excellent. Now, we have 3 drugstores in town, CVS, Walgreens, and Rite Aid. Any suggestions in shopping at drugstores and how to save money?
They all have reward programs, and that can really, it's more high-end discount shopping because you have to think a little harder, I think. And again, that Southern Savers site does have all the drugstores, and you can look at that. And by the way, I want to say, you can go from store to store to store, but that's a lot of time. And if you're like me and you're working and you have kids and you're busy, I shop at one store. I could save more every week, but I don't have, my time is worth something. So I don't spend a lot of time going from place to place. But I shop at one drugstore and one grocery store every week. I spend about 20 minutes in the grocery store, and I spend less than that at the drugstore. Walgreens and CVS have a rewards program. Rite Aid has, they send you a check. It's a little different, and you can read about that on Southern Savers. I'm going to give you the example of CVS because we have a lot of those in this town. They give you extra care bucks back. So when you buy an item, you may have an item that's on sale this week, and let's say it's $5, and if you buy this item, you're going to get $2 in extra care bucks. Now, if I have a coupon for $2, I just bought that item for $3, and then I'm going to get $2 in extra care bucks. I can't use that on that $5 transaction. But I can turn around and use it that day if I want, or the next week. There is an expiration date, so you got to watch that. What happens is, and this is where it gets a little complicated, but you go in and you buy a couple items and say you get $4 in extra care bucks. Then the next week you go and you make your list of shopping items, especially ones with extra care bucks. Maybe you have some coupons. When you end up paying for those items next week, I give them my coupons, I give them my extra care bucks, and I might pay 50 cents for $10 worth of items. And then if I'm working it right, I might get $5 in extra care bucks, which I put in my pocket, and the next week I turn it around. And as someone told me once, there's a day when you start doing that that you look up and you say, everything in this store is free. And because if you can really work it and rotate that and stop by there for 10 or 15 minutes a week, you can pick up your shampoo and your lotions and your soaps and your dishwashing detergent and even some food items at those places, your Band-Aids, and they're next to nothing.
Now, we didn't talk about price matching. Some of the stores will price match. You have to ask. But again, it comes back to you've got to ask. You've got to ask if they have a senior discount, ask if they will match prices and all that. And I like your idea of trying to not travel all around town, but to focus in on one store or two stores. Thanks again for great advice.
Thanks.
My name is Jackie Cook, and the way I save money is I go to the discount store and save on what items I can get at a lower price.
My name is Janet Corley, and I save money by eating lunch at the Active Life every day.
I'm Ruby Parker, and I save money, especially at restaurants, by using coupons. And a lot of the restaurants will take coupons even out of date, like Chick-fil-A, and some of them you can use old coupons. They don't never run out. And IHOP also. So I use coupons at restaurants.
I'm Barbara Hudson, and since I live alone, I do eat out a lot, and so I look for places where you can find a senior free drink or a reduced fee. Cracker Barrel will let you get their kids' meal, and it's $5, and it includes the drink. So I like to eat the fried tomato. They give you a little bit of a discount. So those are a couple ways I save money.
This is Dora Cameron, and I use coupon to save money.
Okay, my name is Gary Massey, and one way that I like to save money is, you can go to some stores and they'll have a sign up that says buy two, you can get one for free. So to me, that's an excellent way of saving money. And also, of course, everybody knows about using coupons, and I do that. And budgeting, I use budgeting to an extent. But I really like the idea of buy two and get one for free, or buy one and get one for free. And look for coupons in the newspaper and budget as much as you can.
My name is Charlie McFarlane, and the way I try to save money, I go to the cheapest store like Walmart and Fred discount.
My name is Sandy Hopp, and I save money through coupons, special sales, and just don't spend the money if I don't need to.
Hi, I'm Linda Dickens, and the best way to save money is don't spend it.
Eloise Barnes. I save money by making me a list, and I go by the list.
Good morning, LaGrange. My name is Candace Honeycutt. I am the Wellness Coordinator for Southern Crescent Area Agency on Aging, and today I'm at Troup Active Life, hula hooping for health. Southern Crescent covers our 10-county region, and what I'm doing is going to all of our 15 senior centers and teaching the seniors how to become the hooping king or queen that they once were in the past, and just teach them how to live a healthy life and get more exercise into their daily routines. So what I'm doing is I'm going to the different senior centers, and I am explaining the benefits and showing them a couple techniques, such as the front and back technique and the side-to-side technique while hooping. There's a lot of benefits to hooping, especially for seniors. It teaches them better coordination, flexibility, and can also burn up to 428 calories per hour.
Hi, I'm Jean McCorda, and I'm one of the volunteers that lead exercise here at the Senior Center. Actually, we call it the Active Life because that's what we strive for here. And today I'm going to show you something that will kind of keep you that way. We call this here at the center, we call it lower body warm-up because it precedes some of the lower body exercises. But I have found that this exercise is excellent while you're watching TV, you're traveling, train, plane, bus, wherever you are. You can do it sitting down or standing up. But most of the time you would do it sitting down. So what the exercise is, you take your toe and you point it until you can feel it in that ankle. Make it pretty hard, and then you flex it back until you can feel it in the calf. And you do that, point, and you flex, point, flex, point, flex, until you do that about 6 or 8 times. Be sure that you can feel that really good. And then you rotate that ankle, just very tiny, make sure it's off the floor, and you just rotate for about 6 or 8 times to the right, and then you turn and go back to the left about 6 or 8 times. Then it's time to do the other foot. Or if you're sitting watching TV, you can take both feet and you can just point, flex, and then rotate. You can rotate, practice with it either way. But what it actually does, it keeps you from having all of that fluid around your ankles. When you're traveling, it will help to get rid of the fluid, possibly maybe even prevent a blood clot. So it's very, very important to do that. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed today's show, but before you go, I'm here with Lynn Norris. She is the instructor of our weekly Tai Chi class. Tell us about Tai Chi. Why is Tai Chi so helpful for older adults?
Well, Tai Chi has been written up in a lot of medical journals. You're going to find articles about Tai Chi in AARP and the Arthritis Foundation magazines, and the Harvard Medical newsletter has written lengthy articles about the benefit of Tai Chi as you age for balance, coordination, and lower body strength. One of the main reasons for admission to nursing homes is that people just lose their lower body strength and aren't able to get up and take care of themselves. So Tai Chi focuses on lower body strength with a very gentle, slow-moving, graceful form of exercise. Excellent for balance and coordination. The people who have been doing this with me for a number of years talk about how it's helped them recover from medical issues, how it's helped them regain balance that they've lost, and just improve their general health.
Wow. Okay, so we're in the process now of putting together a beginner's class.
Right.
So they can benefit from this. Now, how would they contact you to become a part of the brand new beginner's class we're starting soon?
They can call me directly with any questions. This class is planned for Tuesday afternoons at 2 o'clock. My number is 706-596-0155. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. It's pretty simple, straightforward, no special equipment needed, and this is a good time to come and check it out and see how easy it is and how it can improve your health.
Great. Lynn, I'd like to remind the viewers of this great brochure that we have for free here at the Active Life on discounts for older adults. It could be picked up at the front desk here at the Active Life. Thanks again, Lynn, for being here today, and I hope many people take advantage of Tai Chi.
You're welcome, Dan.
Y'all have a wonderful day.